Evening, everybody. How is everybody doing this evening? This week, actually last week, there is so much news to get to. I have over 30 stories this week to talk about. So tonight's show is going to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. So sit back, relax, have a beer, have your popcorn ready. We're fixing to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on in the trucking industry. So, as always, let's get right to it. $21.2 million in meth was seized from a semi truck hauling tomatillos. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol seized more than a ton of meth from a load of produce at the border crossing in Texas. The drug seizure took place on January 8th at the Pharr International Bridge cargo facility in Pharr, Texas. A semi truck hauling a shipment manifested as tomatillos approached the facility from Mexico seeking entry into our country. The truck was chosen for inspection by they called non-intrusive inspection equipment and a canine unit. During a physical search of the trailer, officers uncovered 398 packages, as you see here, of alleged meth weighing nearly 2,379 pounds hidden in the trailer. The estimated street value of the seized drugs is $21.2 million. Semi-truck and drugs were seized by the Border Patrol. The case was handed over to Homeland Security for further investigation. Quote from the local port director, the massive load of harmful narcotics will not make it to American streets thanks to our vigilant Border Patrol officers who continue to thwart the smuggling attempts. Like I said the Port of Entry director. And good evening, my favorite bro. Thank you for joining us again this week. Roy is in the house. Yes, I'm giving my favorite bro a shout out. Now, of course, things are gonna start glitching. My cats are going nuts in the background, as you can hear. But anyway, let's carry on. And in this next story, Tennessee troopers catch a semi truck hauling an excavator with no securement of any kind. He didn't even put it on the doggone trailer right. I don't know, because I never hauled oversized like this. But the tracks, from what I've seen in the past, let's put it that way, the tracks are not supposed to be like that. The tracks are supposed to be running parallel with the trailer, not perpendicular to the trailer, going one way and the trailer is like this. So, yeah. Tennessee Highway Patrol recently nabbed a truck driver for a serious load securement violation. This happened on January 13th. They posted it, of course, on social media. The officer stopped a commercial vehicle in Rhea County, Tennessee, for a suspected unsecured load. Troopers say that the inspection uncovered multiple violations. No further information was provided on whether any of the citations were issued. They also shared photos, of what you shouldn't do as far as load securement and this kind of thing. The bucket was off the other end of the trailer, according to. So this excavator was way too large for the trailer, apparently, according to these other photos. And they added some more stuff to the trailer on, like you see in this picture, up in the very front corner right here. they added that bucket to it, and then in the back here, there's a little something back here. Well, then there's the big boom, and then another bucket is hanging over the tail end of the trailer on top of that. Freaking ridiculous. But anyway, like I said, what do I know? I used to haul hang on, everything's going wonky, and my cats are going nuts because I'm on Leave It to Live. Let me tell you, I use my tablet to pull up the stories, and now even even the tablet's going nuts tonight. Oh well. And then of course the cats wanna fart around and play and everything while I'm live streaming. So in this next story, so much for my woes. A FedEx truck is slipping and sliding away on Nebraska highway. This is when all that cold weather and snow and ice and everything was going on. Can't even pronounce this. It's OTOE. Shared dash cam video of a FedEx truck driver losing control on an icy Nebraska roadway. This happened on January 12th, as a deputy was apparently on scene to assist a previous semi-truck crash, and maybe the one that you see in the foreground of the video. This is the video was taken in this trooper's car, so that's his windshield wiper going back and forth. According to this officer, things got a little hectic with the ice on Highway 2 near Palmyra on Sunday as a deputy ran for his life. He'd like to remind everyone to drive cautiously during these conditions. It's apparently definitely black ice. It was excellent recovery by the truck driver, said the officer. You can see the dash cam clip. I'll leave it in the description after the live stream of the video. And black ice is nothing to sneeze at. You don't see it. You don't see it. It looks like it's a wet road. And especially when the temperature is hovering around 30, 31, 32 degrees as it's freezing, you have to watch out for spray on the tire coming off the other vehicle's tires. That's what I always did. And if you don't, then it's going to be a risk. And next up, a truck driver follows his GPS into a neighborhood and lays the truck over, as you could see, on its side, and loses two 20,000-pound steel coils, according to Alabama Police Department. Police responded to a rollover crash involving a truck hauling metal coils in Irondale, Alabama. This happened about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on January 13th. The Irondale police responded to a commercial vehicle rollover with a cargo spill in a residential area. Unfortunately, the semi-driver was following their GPS, got confused, and lost their way on Janet Lane in Holiday Gardens. This confusion resulted in the semi overturning and sending the two 20,000-pound coils of metal rolling into the neighborhood. And one of them went down an embankment into somebody's home and striking their house, or butted up against the house. At least it didn't come apart. The police said that the trucking company involved in this was an out-of-state carrier. Well, of course, at least no injuries were reported with this crash, but there was a lot of property damage. Tore up the person's lawn. So that's, the least of it, the sod and everything. But this is when you follow Google Maps, people, and it's not a truck driving app. So you can't do it. There is truck driving apps out there that are specifically made for trucking with low bridges and truck routes and everything else on there. You really don't need to be following Google Maps. And a Colorado mayor calls for a $20,000 fine for truck drivers who won't chain up on Interstate 70. The mayor of Colorado town of Vail is seeking to dramatically increase fines for truck drivers who violate the state chain laws. Now, chaining, when I say this, let me clarify this for you non truck drivers out there. Chaining is when the roads get so bad, and Vail is a mountain west of Denver that is extremely steep on Interstate 70 on both sides, climbing up and coming down. And if it gets too bad and they're salting and everything, they need to you need to chain up. So you have to chain your tires, usually not the steers, but usually your pulling drive tires of the truck and two or both sets of the trailer tires. And you have to carry these chains with you. They don't have them, and they have pull-off areas on the shoulder of the highway, wide pull-off spots where you have to stop out in the middle of blowing snow and put these chains on so you don't get this kind of ticket. Well, truck drivers are going up and down this steep mountain in this bad weather and not chaining. And so this is the reason for this story. At a town council meeting held on January 7th, the mayor called for action to be taken to dramatically increase fines for truckers who fail to chain up. He called on Colorado lawmakers to increase monetary penalties for violations of state's commercial vehicle chain law after December 30th, the 2024 incident, during which several trucks became stuck on eastbound I-70 through Vail Pass after passing a chain-up station and winter weather conditions. The stuck trucks resulted in the road being closed for more than 3 hours. That's nothing. I mean, look what happened in Cincinnati. They were closed for 3 days in Cincinnati. He said, clearly $500 doesn't change anyone's mind. I think I saw on the Vail Daily the other day that the first snowstorm, 12 truckers had blown by. It's offensive to our community, and I would like to see if we could get Eagle Summit, these are different mountain passes, Clear Creek, Jefferson, Lake, and, the counties, and Pitkin counties, including every other municipality in between who is on I-70, because there needs to be points, or there needs to be a $20,000 fine. Are we getting a little greedy there, dude? They just need the political willpower to do it, and it's decades past time, he concluded. Currently, Colorado law sets a penalty for non-compliance with winter driving restrictions for commercial vehicles up to $500 fine plus an $80 surcharge. If the vehicle is stuck and blocking any travel portion of the roadway, the fine is $1,000 plus a $157 surcharge. Last year, Colorado enacted expanded chain law requirements and added commercial vehicle lane restrictions to I-70, meaning that you can't be in the left lane. You have to stay in the right lane only, no matter how slow you're going. And if somebody is light or somebody's faster than you, they got to stay behind you. Otherwise, you're going to get a hell of a ticket for hitting the left lane to try to get around them in bad weather. The law expands the number of roadways where truckers are required to carry chains, during the fall, winter, and early spring. It also prohibits truck travel in the far left lane, as I mentioned, on I-70, with exceptions. So they're really trying. Vail is really trying to buckle down because they're just. It's every year that's going on, so they're just getting pretty tired of it. So can't really blame them. And up next, a popular truck stop restaurant in Colorado closes after decades of being in operation. An iconic restaurant and a truck stop in Colorado, northern Colorado, was closed for good after several decades of serving truckers and other travelers. On Sunday, January 12th, Johnson's Corner Restaurant and Bakery, located off of I-25 in Johnstown, Colorado, has closed its doors. The Petro Johnson's Corner truck stop, which housed Johnson's Corner, remains open under ownership by Travel Centers of America. So when Travel Centers of America bought out Petro, they started closing all these mom and pop restaurants across the country. You cannot find very many restaurants opened anymore in any TA travel centers or petrol truck stops. I mean, Roy, you know, you're in Wisconsin. I think there's one there in Portage at the big Petro as you're going. You don't really go that way. It's just north of Madison, north, south Madison, something like that. And it's right where the 90, 94, and 39 all come together. That they still have their restaurant, and they actually still have the salad bar opened, which is really strange. They closed all the salad bars down after COVID, but I think that's one, and maybe one in New Jersey. That's about it. Any restaurants out here anymore just cannot. They're not there. Not in truck stops. As far as like I said, as far as the TA and the Petro go. And in this next story, a man is critically injured jumping from an overpass to avoid a semi-truck in a chain reaction. And there goes the cat sliding across the floor. Oy. One man was seriously hurt after jumping off of an overpass during a chain reaction in Florida on Monday. The accident happened on Monday morning, January 13th, about 6:40 a.m. in Gadsden County, Florida on I-10. According to the local paper, a Toyota sedan lost control in rainy conditions on I-10 near mile marker 185 at the Little River Bridge overpass. Now, this is in the panhandle of Florida. I-10 runs all the way from like New Orleans, past New Orleans in Texas, all the way over to Jacksonville, Florida. So this is in Florida. And it rains really hard in Florida. Back to the article. A second motorist was unable to avoid the Toyota sedan and crashed into her with her 4 daughters in the car. And then a work truck driven by the husband and the father of the females in the second car pulled over and got out of his vehicle to help his family. The wife and the children sustained only minor injuries in the crash. The father was helping them deal with the incident, and an oncoming semi-truck was unable to stop in time to avoid the crash scene and plowed into the previously crashed vehicles. The dad, who originally pulled over, realized he was about to be hit by the semi, jumped over the bridge and fell 40 plus feet to the ground. 3 more vehicles then crashed into the pileup, and all the vehicles came to a final rest across all lanes of traffic. 6 people at the scene sustained minor injuries, while the father who jumped from the overpass had to be rescued by multiple emergency crews who ventured down the embankment to stabilize the man before utilizing heavy rescue equipment to secure the injured man with their outstanding high-angle rescue abilities. The man was then transported to hospital in critical condition. And the patient was trauma alerted to Tallahassee for critical care of his injuries, and a job was well done by all. I guess they put like the big boom crane over the bridge, and he fell down on one of these photos. There was a railroad trestle underneath the bridge, so when he jumped the bridge down below the 40 feet, he landed on the steel railroad girders. Ow, that could definitely hurt you. Holy smokes. Definitely hurt. And in this story, a trucker escapes a big rig just before it is swallowed up by an icy lake. I told you there's a lot of stuff in the news this week. Going on last week with all the bad weather and everything. And from what I understand, Roy, is what's the temperature? You can just type it into the chat. What's the temperature in Wisconsin right now? Is it still in the negatives? Negative degrees? Wasn't it like minus 20 or something in Wisconsin? You're living over on the east side. As I talk about this story, a truck driver managed to exit his truck safely before it plunged into an icy lake in Ontario. This is in Canada. The incident occurred just after noon on Sunday, January 12th, on Orient Bay in Ontario, Canada. According to the local news, a semi truck lost control during poor weather conditions and veered off of Highway 11, sending the truck onto the frozen Lake Nipigon. I'm going to have to ask my Canadian friend how to pronounce that. The truck driver was able to exit the truck cab as it sat on top of the ice, but the rig eventually fell through the ice and plunged into the water. Police arrived at the scene and gave the driver a ride to a nearby hotel for rest. Drivers are reminded to exercise caution and adjust to hazardous weather conditions, especially during these months, said the Ontario Provincial Police in a statement. So I'm glad the truck driver got out of that rig. I'm glad he's okay. And need to check something just real quick.